Hello. Good evening, sir.
Hello, Surya Narayan. How are you?
Fine, sir. How are you, sir?
Good evening.
Long time. Nirmal, sir, namaste.
Hi. How are you guys? All
Yeah,
set?
Yeah, fine.
President sir, good evening.
Good evening. विश्राम साहब, तो आज तो आप लोगों का राज है.
अच्छा, इसमें मेरे ख्याल से वो थोड़ा ज्वाइन करने में प्रॉब्लम होता है. वो
किसका?
ये जो है ना, अपन ने लिंक भेजे ना लोगों को,
हाँ.
तो वो ईमेल डालना है, फोन नंबर डालना है, फिर वो ईमेल पे आता है.
I have told Bhavesh to, give the this thing.
बाकी जो अपने प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं ना, तो वो इट बिकम्स इजी टू लॉग इन. इसमें समटाइम्स वो ईमेल जाता नहीं है. So then it becomes very difficult to log in for the general public.
मैंने भावेश को बोला है
हाँ.
ने के लिए. Let's see.
Sir, what we'll do is henceforth the YouTube link we'll send in advance so people can straight away join on YouTube. In advance only we'll say.
That's better. Zoom, unless we register, it won't allow because of privacy issue. YouTube, I think anybody can see. That's one good thing.
YouTube link भेजा, we have not sent the YouTube link.
भावेश, ये जो है ना, बैकड्रॉप बराबर नहीं आ रहा है मेरा, आधा कट रहा है.
Right.
तो फिर इसको मैं चेंज कर देता हूँ.
What is the flow, sir? How to?
फ्लो एकदम सिंपल है.
हाँ, sir.
Not to worry. बहुत आप लोग घबराते क्यों हो इतना? You are facing the Arnab Goswami.
It's an honor sharing screen with you. Actually, that's you are no less than Arnab Goswami.
I'm already being named by Mehndi Ratta. So I will ask you simple things. So that's not a.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Everything has to be extempore. It is. I don't prepare anything. It just comes out. So something about brain health. I will ask some questions. Something about exercises.
Yes, sir.
For the body. Chandrasekhar, I am going to talk about various things like, lifestyle and diet and nutrition. So he's expert in those. Then we talk about sleep, mental health, social. So those simple things. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh. नहीं, वो उसको जैसा चंद्रशेखर आपने बोला है ना, वैसा ही करेंगे. हाँ, YouTube का दिया है.
Sir, should I open? Should I
भावेश को
open
बोला
the?
नहीं, वो मैंने मानसी को परसों फोन किया था, तो मानसी बोले कि वो उधर से लिंक आता है तुम मैक्री और मैक्रू somebody is organizing.
So should I open the room for everyone to join?
Yes, yes.
If the people want to join YouTube, how they will search the YouTube? Bhavesh?
Sorry, sir.
Bhavesh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if somebody wants to join YouTube, because this you have to register, then you will send the
I'll send you the
invitation on
YouTube
email.
link. YouTube link.
Sir, we've sent the YouTube link. I think Mansi has just shared with you on WhatsApp.
Huh?
That YouTube link Mansi has shared with you on WhatsApp. You can circulate that link, sir.
मैंने भेजा है भेज तुमको.
So Delhi COVID cases are in Delhi and Kerala. Bombay, so far, I think there is no hike in the cases. Nirma?
Slightly more cases yesterday, 75 cases maximum in last 2 months. So it's a little bit of to worry about, but let's see how it goes. So we can.
We don't want now COVID to come back again. We're a big shock.
So 7-1.
Yeah, we can wait for 2-3 minutes.
Bhavesh, I think you can start the session. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends, and boys, girls, young boys, students. Welcome to our show, Dimaag Pe Charcha. And in fact, the name could have been other way around, Dimaag Walo Se Charcha. So you got the two topmost neurologists, the doctors for the brain, been here. And I'm your host, Dr. Nirmal Surya, President, Indian Academy of Neurology, and neurologist at Bombay Hospital, Mumbai. So I will take this show from here onward. Welcome to our show, Dimaag Pe Charcha. So may I have the introduction of the first panelist today is none other than Dr. Chandrasekhar Meshram. Now, Chandrasekhar Meshram is a neurologist with many accolades. He is not only a neurologist, but he also represents the film industry. So he is involved with the film shows in north of India, and that is in the Vidarbha at Nagpur. So we'll come back to him. He is a trustee of World Federation of Neurology. So he is representing World Federation of Neurology. He was past president of Indian Academy of Neurology, has been part of many scientific programs, and he has represented the India as a council of delegate past president of Maharashtra Association of Neurology. But most important thing is he has been the chief coordinator for the public awareness activity of Indian Academy of Neurology for past many years and has done tremendously well. He has organized many conferences. And not only that, he has been the brand ambassador of Nagpur city. So you will find that the gentleman has been here representing the various fund. And today we are going to talk to him about brain health. And he has got a lot of scholarship and etc. etc. But the most important thing is he organizes Orange City International Film Festival. So if you want to speak to him about some Bollywood, I don't know whether he will tell you about the Bollywood or Maharashtrian film or the art film, but we will come back to him at some point of time. So that's, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. CM, I call Chandrasekhar Meshram. Welcome, Dr. Meshram, to my show of Dimaag Pe Charcha.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The other speaker, other host, other panelist is Surya Narayan Sharma, PM. Don't go by PM. PM is not Prime Minister. But he is like Prime Minister in our running group. He's a consultant neurologist and stroke specialist from Apollo Hospital, Bangalore. He is also a prolific runner, and he was the one who started the support group for the runners group of neurologists, and there are 128 neurologists today as a member of this group, where at least people run about 200 kilometers per day and share their experience, not only now with the experience of running, walking, but also with various gym exercises, which I can never do that, but I do follow them. He has been an excellent academician, and I'll come back to you with his extracurricular activity of some religious books and translation. I'm sure he will tell us more about the brain health. I'm sure this Mahabharata, Gita, Ramayana must also be part of his brain health. That's the reason we have selected, ladies and gentlemen, two most prolific neurologists in India from Vidarbha and from the Bangalore. So welcome, Dr. Surya Narayan.
Namaste, sir. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, sir.
So I will start from Chandrasekhar. Now, Dr. Meshram, earlier it was believed that anybody who is not in the metro, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Kolkata, or Chennai, cannot be a successful neurologist. But you have proved it otherwise. You, from a small city, Nagpur, Vidarbha, has achieved so many things which many people from the metro city could not do it. So can you tell us about how you fought it so hard and made your own space in this neurology fraternity of India as well as the world?
Yeah, I think I started not only from a town, I started from a village. Nirmal, thank you very much. And that village is a small village of 50 houses. And till the train standard, we used to walk 3 kilometers from the village to the school. And when I moved to Nagpur, when I finished my 10th standard, and then from Nagpur, then I had thought that one should go to the best institute in the country. And after doing MBBS, then I appeared for PGI Chandigarh examination, entrance examination. I got selected for MD. Then I got selected for PM neurology, which was my interest, area of my interest. और वहाँ से जो ट्रेनिंग वहाँ चंडीगढ़ में मिला, I think that is very important. And moving, you are going to the national platform or the world platform. तो ये तो उसके बाद फिर then you know कि मैं कुछ दिन तक डॉक्टर वाडिया के साथ जसलोक हॉस्पिटल में था, काफी दिन तक आपके साथ और डॉक्टर सिंगल सर के साथ में I was at Bombay Hospital, and we had a close association and friendship since then. And then actually my friends like you, Sudhir Kothari, or Pangari, and they pushed me. I am not a very ambitious person, but they pushed me to take over. Dr. Singhal said that now, since you organize the conference, you are a very good organizer. So he said you should now become executive member of Indian Academy of Neurology and then move up to the president. So Dr. Ashok Pangaria once said that I said that I'm in practice, I'm a very busy practitioner. बहुत secretary Indian Academy of Neurology का बहुत काम होता है. So you are very organized and you can do it. I don't find any other person at that moment to take up the secretary post. So it was, the friends pushing me into, this position of organization, Indian Academy of Neurology, then World Federation of Neurology. So the journey continues because my basic aim is to promote neurology in India, promote neurology in the masses, and take care of people's health, because it's very important that you take care of neurology, but you take care of the general population, and
Absolutely.
that is very
Absolutely,
important.
Dr. Mesham. I think I'll come back to you on this point. The brain health, we will come back to you. But what is interesting, Chandrasekhar has brought is he has talent, but it was pushed by his friends, the friends who were with him, the colleagues who pushed him, who saw there that he's been a very organized person, pushed him to take the responsibility, and he took it, and he got the fruit and benefit of those responsibilities. Thank you very much. Surya Narayan,
Yes, sir.
we would like to know that, what background you came from and how did you choose neurology, and then how did you settle down in the Bangalore?
Yeah, thank you, sir. At the outset, I thank Dr. Nirmal Surya, sir, President, Indian Academy of Neurology, for inviting me to this show. Nirmal Surya, sir, has been an inspiration to many of us, actually. If you look at a generation of neurologists, even Meshram, sir, 10 years back, the first interaction was when he was president of IAN, actually. I think in Indore conference or somewhere he was the president, if I'm correct. So, I'm really happy. Chandigarh, yeah. So I'm happy to share this with you both. Basically, I'm from a small town called Mandya. It's around 100 kilometers from Bangalore. So I did my schooling there in Mandya. I was studying in Kannada medium till almost 10th standard. Then I studied in Mysore. I did my MBBS. Then I came to Bangalore for my post-graduation. I did my MD medicine. Then I was a physician for almost 3 to 4 years. I practiced as a consultant physician, also as assistant professor of medicine. And then I did my DM neurology. So that was the turning point where, I remember many of my teachers, Dr. Srinivas, Dr. P.T. Acharya, many of them have really shaped me. And also after that, I went to, my area, special interest is stroke and neurosonology. I'm the EC member for the Society of Neurosonology. So my mentor is Dr. Vijay Sharma. He is in Singapore. So I did fellowship under him. We published a lot of papers, and I came back to Bangalore. Initially, I was working in BGS Global Hospital. Then I moved to Apollo Hospitals, Bannerghatta Road. So what I, personally felt is, one is as a consultant, as a doctor, we are helping patients. Many a time, people may think it's our job, and we are, many a time paid to do that job. We may be helping people, but still it's our profession. But still, there are many other ways to help people. So that way, in fact, as sir said about Meshram sir, we have to involve ourselves in a lot of other charity activity or social activity, and we have to actually have a direct interaction with public. That's what is missing with many doctors nowadays. We are
Absolutely.
cocoons of.
Surya Narayan will come back to you on this point. I
Yes,
think
sir.
what is most important thing which has come forward is that Dr. Meshram come from a small village, he struggle, work hard, come to Nagpur, move to Chandigarh. Same way, Dr. Surya Narayan from Mandya, which is 100 kilometers away from Bangalore, come from that small rural, studying in a rural school, and then fighting hard to become a doctor. So if people think that doctor's life was very easy, they are on this. I think people who have become reach at this stage, they have struggled hard and they have worked hard to reach at that stage. I think that's very, very important point, which both of you have shown, and that's why you are very successful, compassionate, and also want to work. And I must tell that somebody asked this question that Dr. Meshram, you are wanting to promote neurology, but isn't that neuroscience? So I must say that, dear Harish, the neuroscience is all around the neurology. So you cannot have neurology without neuroscience. And neurology includes neuroanatomy, neurophysiology, neuropsychiatrist, neuroanatomy, everything is, so that whole neuroscience is around the brain and spinal cord, and that's neurology. So when we talk about neurology, because as a neurologist, we always say neurology, it comes, but it includes the neurosciences. So that cannot be differentiated from the neurology. So Dr. Meshram, you passed out from PGI Chandigarh, and I want a very quick answer from you. You could have gone to any major metro city. You could have established yourself in Mumbai. I remember when you passed out Mumbai, there were not even 50 neurologists. Why did you choose Nagpur?
Yeah, that I think basically when I stayed in Mumbai for 2 years, I thought that there are smaller places in the country where there is a need, more need for neurologists. And therefore, I thought that, if you are in the smaller places, then you can serve the society in a better way. You are directly in touch with the people, you know the people, people know you. So rather than, everybody settling in, because when I was in Chandigarh, there were chances that I could have gone out of the country. there was a possibility. When I was in Bombay, there was a possibility that I could have settled in, Mumbai. But then I thought that it is important to serve the society at a smaller places. So therefore, I,
absolutely, Dr. Meshram. I think absolutely. I think what point you have given is that doctors are so compassionate. You wanted to serve your people. You wanted to serve and develop a neurology in a city where that time was hardly any neurologist. I remember Dr. Taubri must have been the only one who was there, and that's the reason today you are the legend in the Vidarbha. Everybody knows Chandrasekhar Mishra. Dr. Surya Narayan Sharma, you could have also, how did you decide that the Bangalore is a fine place for me?
Yes, sir. Basically, Bangalore is, if you look at it, my hometown is between Bangalore and Mysore. Bangalore and Mysore is a very busy corridor, and it is almost like 70% of the distance from Bangalore. So initially, I did my practice in Mysore, and then I came to Bangalore. But even today, monthly 2 times I run a neurology outpatient camp in Mandya. Monthly 2 times actually. I see, most of the doctors, because as of now, Mandya doesn't have a full-time neurologist. So even today, even this time, last 8 years I've been doing that. Every month, 2 times I visit there. With the norm, initially, actually, I was seeing free, but over time, what happened was a lot of, not so qualified or not so fit neuro cases used to come, because a lot of our true neuro cases used to miss out because of the load.
I think what we gathered you is you are also linked to your birthplace. So you have been doing your services, and that is what is most important, that you all are serving the society. And I think these are the important point, that the neurologists from a smaller town drawn in and come into the bigger city or smaller city, but they are linked with their own city to serve. And we'll come back to that further. With that note of person, I have projected you 2 of the top neurologists today. Let's move on to the brain health. I know people will talk, what is this brain health? But last couple of years, brain health has become a very important. The WHO has been talking about WFN has been talking about. It is an emerging and growing concept, and it incorporates the neural development, its plasticity, its fluctuation, recovery across. All these are linked. So we will come back to the Dr. Meshram, because there are 6 points, there are 12 points. Some people talk of 6-point brain health, some talk about brain tips, 12 brain tips. So we'll ask Chandrasekhar Meshram that, can you highlight what are the important points which are important for brain health? And what we are talking about brain health. What is it, brain health? I mean, everybody comes out with his brain, he thinks that his brain is most healthy, most important. Then why we are talking about brain health today?
Yeah, that's a very important concept. That I think this concept of brain health that emerged in first time in 1989, and then from 1990 to 1999, as you know, that U.S. President George W. Bush has declared Decade of the Brain, and for 10 years it was focused mainly on brain. But this concept of brain health has become very popular in last 10 years, and because initially it was mental health, now people realizing that it's important. So why this? I think again the WFN, that World Federation of Neurology, has taken up the theme for World Brain Day on 22nd July. So 126 countries in the world will have Brain Day celebration, and the theme is Brain Health for All. So today's program is, I think we take it as a curtain raiser to that particular activity, and we are going to have a very exhaustive, activity and detailed discussion about brain health during that period. Maybe that will have on 22nd, as well as a few days before and after. So brain health, the concept is basically that why it is important is because that brain or the neurological disorders, they account for the second leading cause of death globally. And therefore, when you talk of brain health, that you want to promote the brain health, you want to prevent neurological disorders, that you don't want neurological disorders. And then if you get a neurological disorder, then the diagnosis, early diagnosis, the treatment, the care, rehabilitation, how to go about it, that is, and the well-being of an individual. Because the brain health involves brain function, like maybe motor function, sensory function, social, behavioral, cognitive, memory, intelligence, executive function. So these are the brain functions. Then brain development, like brain health it starts from the conception, the early child birth. So brain development is very important. Then the brain neuroplasticity, brain recovery. So overall well-being of the brain. So that is the concept of brain health. And there are three important aspects. I would say, like for brain health, one is exercise. Second is diet, and the lifestyle, and third is sleep. So these are the three important components of brain health.
So, Dr. Chandrasekhar Meshram, I got your point, and the viewer must know that earlier we were talking about, do some yoga, exercise, run, do this for physical health. But the things has emerged in last 10 years is that if your brain is not healthy, your physical health also can be linked with the brain health. And as Dr. Meshram said, that 3 important points which came, but I can add into the 6 important point is exercise, food and nutrition, medical health. That means control of your blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, smoking, alcohol, sleep, as he has mentioned, the mental health, not to get excited, stress, and the social health. So these are the 6 important components which helps into the brain health. So let's move on to the one of the important component, and that is exercise. So Surya Narayan Sharma, you have been advocating about the running, about the walking. So you guys should know that we have a runner group, but we also promote the neurologists, felicitate them during the annual conference, those who run 1,000 kilometers per year. And there are more than 40 neurologists who runs every year more than 1,000 kilometers. So this is all hasn't happened because of initiation from Surya Narayan Sharma. So we call him Captain. So Captain, tell us about the exercises, the brain, and how you have promoted this, that you involve now 128 neurologists to run every day. What is this you have done? Tell me.
Yes,
People
sir.
like me running 7 to 10 kilometers every day who has never done before. How you could do this?
Yes, sir. That's a very important thing. Basically, as doctors, when we advocate or when we, advise on physical health, first we have to be fit. The days are gone when the senior doctor used to look very obese, very old, and very, aged with a hypomimic look and all that. Now that is gone. Now, if you look at, it's like if you see a American neurologist or a Canadian neurologist, even though they are 60 plus, they don't look like that. They look as young as 50 or 45 because they maintain the good health. I think now in India also, now most of the medical doctors, especially COVID is a game changer in especially having a good physical health awareness. I'm sure everybody across the specialty is focusing on physical health at least 4 to 5 days in a week, minimum 4 to 5 days in a week, 30 to 45 minutes of vigorous health activity. If you are able to run, fine, that's good. If you are not able to run because of a physical inability, like you may have a knee problem, you may have a low back problem, so don't push yourself. That time even a good brisk walk with a relaxation would be fine.
So
Weekly,
Surya Narayan, what is this concept? 150 minutes weekly, 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Why this? Why 30 minutes, 5 days, 150 minutes per week? What is this concept that to do with the brain health?
So basically, now the 150 intensity minutes per week is usually considered by the American Heart Association as a gold standard for maintaining a good health. That has been proven beyond doubt. There is sufficient evidence that it controls our diabetes, it controls our cholesterol, it controls our blood pressure. And overall, these three are the major killer diseases, if you look at it. So most of the stroke or any of these diseases are largely related to one of these. So definitely it is our cholesterol levels are going to come down. I'm sure most of our running group members 5 years back, their cholesterols were around 250, 300. It was shooting. One of our doctor had put, he was taking 3 antihypertensives. Today he is off antihypertensive. He is off BP medicine. That is the impact of the physical health. At the same time, we need to moderate. Sometimes we overdo things in the beginning and we injure ourselves, and we are off the track for 30 minutes, 1 hour, 30 days, 2 months, like that. And that is the time when we gain a lot of weight. And that will be actually counterproductive. To prevent that, American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, they recommend that you take a break for 1 day or 2 days. That day you can largely do a core strengthening exercise or do a yoga or meditation. So maintain your physical health. And coming to our Indian Academy of Neurology, in 2017, during our Chennai conference, Dr. Meenakshi Sundaram and Dr. Sudhir Kotari from Pune, actually he is the first person whom we should give all the credit. So he was the executive committee member of IAN at that time. He proposed that we will host an annual running event during the conference. So that time he put a group mail to all of us, and 5 of us joined. I still remember first 2 months only 5 of us were there, in I think June and July. Then September was the conference. Then we started involving more and more people. If you look at elite runners like Satish or even Jacob, Anuradha, they had never run even 5 kilometers till that day. September 2017 was the time when they had run first 5 kilometers. they were very reluctant. We told, don't worry, you come, we will at least walk at least if we can't run. But in fact, most of them ran much ahead of us and they finished in style. And within 3 to 6 months, you could see the game changer. There was a huge change in their mindset, and they did very well. And then what we decided is when we are, it's a yearly one event, many a time it doesn't have much value except that you get to meet your friends. Then we thought we will put 1,000 kilometers challenge per year, which means around 3 to 3.3 kilometers per day, which is easily doable for anybody. So we thought we will put an event for all the neurologists of the country and their spouses, and they can actually engage themselves in a good physical activity in this one. We never thought that it will be a good success. We thought initially 10 or 15 of us were there. And first year only, I think the whole team crossed almost 30,000 kilometers in a year. And second year, Nirmal Surya sir, every time he was the flag bearer of our group. Every time he used to flag off the run. But then actually we caught hold of him and said, sir, you are going to be part of the group. You are not a guest to the group. And that's how, if you see, sir, he had lost almost 10 to 12 kgs. I don't know exactly how much, but those who have seen Dr. Nirmal Surya 3 years before, they can easily make out that he has lost a lot of weight. He has become more active, and that charm in the face and the confidence is at a different level. That's what I can say.
Thank you, Surya Narayan. I think what inspires is that somebody has to take a lead, inspire others. Initially, the group may be small, and you could see the examples. People who have never run are running the full marathon, half marathon. The people are running for 24 hours. Person like me today did 10.2 kilometer. And this concept of 150 minutes, which Surya Narayan has explained, and I think all of you should take it. It not only reduces the cholesterol, weight, diet, diabetes, but it reduces the risk of more than 20 chronic disorders, which include the cancer, asthma. So that's very, very important. And I think one should not lose this important thing in the life, because half an hour, 5 days a week, everybody should take it. Dr. Meshram, now I come to you. You are a very famous about various diets and food and nutrition, and you are also loving of the nature. And many of these fruits you grow in your house in a small natural way, organic. So would you tell us, because we are always confused whether we should do an intermittent fasting or whether we should eat the vegetarian diet or whether we should go for Mediterranean diet or what it is, and how which diet is the best, and how the diet and nutrition, because you have to maintain the nutrition, B12 has to be proper, is important for the brain health.
Yes, that is very important. And I think when you talk of diet, there are three things. One is that when to eat, what to eat, and how much to eat. These are three very important concepts, and there is a lot of research going on recently in why I got interested in diet is because so many patients would tell me that I would tell the patient that you need to cut down on weight. That is the only thing. So patient would say that अभी आप हमारे डॉक्टर हैं, आप बताओ कैसे क्या करना है. और अपने जो मेडिकल करिकुलम है उसमें कोई फॉर्मल ट्रेनिंग डाइट के बारे में, न्यूट्रिशन के बारे में बिल्कुल जीरो. Whether it's MBBS, MD or DM, there is no awareness about nutrition. Then I started studying myself and doing experimenting on me, my family members, my friends, and doing various things. And then I developed a technique, and when I used on patients, they really got wonderful results. So one thing is very important, that when to eat. And this is called intermittent fasting or time restricted eating. So it has shown that, the experiments are done on mice. So same food, whatever you eat, that's two groups of mice. You give same food for 8 hours. Ask the mice to eat, they will get a chance to eat only for 8 hours, maybe from 10 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening. And another group of mice will same food, same calories. You eat the mice will eat all 24 hours. They keep on eating every 2 hours, 3 hours, same food. At the end of 18 weeks, what happened? The mice who was eating throughout the day, they develop diabetes, they develop hypertension, they develop obesity, and hyperlipidemia, increased cholesterol. So the food is not changed, but the timing is changed. The restricted eating time is very important. Most of the time, people, I also used to do the same thing. As soon as I would get up in the morning, I will start eating till the time I would sleep. So once that you change your eating habit, you get, and what happened, the same group of mice, when again they're put back into the restricted eating period, 8 hour window, their diabetes has disappeared, hypertension has disappeared, come back to normal, their weight has come back to normal, and their cholesterol level has been normal. So these experiments, animal experiments, but then experiments are done in the people also, human beings also, and it has shown a good result. And this fasting is an ancient wisdom. It is in every religion. So you eat you may be having 2 meals or 3 meals in a day, but you eat in a restricted period of 8 hours. Initially, you may eat for about 10 hours and the fast for 14 hours. But ideally, if you can manage fast for about 15 hours or 16 hours, because that is the period after the 12 hours that your fat starts burning and you derive energy from the fat. So if you want to reduce weight or want to remain healthy, then the fat really starts melting after 12 hours or 13 hours. So that really helps you to reduce weight. That helps you to take care of your heart problem, your cholesterol problem, and your other risk factors. Diabetes. It is very important that I have with this only concept of intermittent fasting, many patients of diabetes have got very good, excellent control on their diabetes. So risk factors for brain health or brain neurological disorders like heart, hypertension, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, these are the main risk factors. So you take care of all the risk factors just by proper diet.
I think what we got a message is that even though earlier we were thinking that how many calories you have taken, that is important. But what you have brought, a very crystal clear scientific method, tested and tried on the mice, that it is not the calories, it is how you eat and what you eat, when you eat is what is most important. And I think this is something which many of you don't know. So I think the Chandrasekhar has given us a very important point that intermittent fasting and not eating every 2 hourly, 1 hourly is dangerous for the diabetes, blood pressure, etc. So that's very, very important point which you have brought.
Yeah,
I hope
after some time we go on to what are the changes in the food that we have to make. And
I'll come back to you for that.
Yeah.
Yes. So one part we talked about is diet. We'll come back to you on nutrition. But before I come back to you on nutrition and what should we eat about Mediterranean diet, I want to ask Surya, what is this doctor fatigue? There is a lot of talk about doctor fatigues, particularly in the COVID time, and everybody says there's too much of fatigue and doctors are getting fatigued, they're going off. And how do you keep your brain young and get over this fatigue? Is that exercise and yoga or meditation is what is important to prevent doctor fatigue and keeping your brain young and healthy?
That's a very good, point. Doctor fatigue has multiple dimensions. We talk. One is the physical exhaustion. Physical exhaustion, especially when we are overworked or overburdened, we have lack of manpower, lack of hands, more patients, especially in COVID, working with PPE kit for 16 hours, 12 hours. And even when we used to do rounds for 5 hours with COVID suit, full suit, with all the support, we ourselves used to dehydrate so much that the moment we come out of the COVID ward, we used to have a good hydration. Still, we used to feel fatigue for another 1 or 2 hours. So that is a physical fatigue. Second thing is about the mental and emotional fatigue. Mental fatigue is especially one is uncertainty. See, nobody knows because of them the family members are getting COVID. Many a time patient they may be fine, but their parents have got COVID and they got admitted, the children got admitted. So that is a emotional quotient or emotional fatigue which is equally important, or sometimes it is worse than the physical fatigue. Physical fatigue, you take a break for 24 hours, many a time you will be back to normal. Third thing is many a times, especially young doctors, when they are not financially stable, they are worried about their career, especially in uncertain times like COVID, which has happened. So these are multiple. It's a multi-dimensional thing. What I can say, the doctor's fatigue, and after COVID, many people what they have realized is number one, cutting short the or streamlining. I won't say cut short the duration of work, we can actually streamline what we are doing rather than sitting till 12 o'clock in an outpatient department. You attend an emergency of a stroke at midnight, 12 o'clock. Yes, you are, you have to do it. It's your job, and it's our service to the mankind. Seeing a migraine patient at midnight, 12 o'clock doesn't make any sense. If he has some peripheral neuropathy, which is a 3-year-old problem, he has to take appointment the next day and he has to come at your convenience. So somewhere as doctors, we need to, split the day into our convenience. Each of us can be our own, bosses in that. Emergency, there is no question. 24 hours, all of us are on call for all emergency. But somewhere we have to strike a balance for, otherwise all of us, I'm sure, will burn out very fast. That's what has been happening. And now I think it's a time that we have to fight this fatigue, doctor fatigue, physical fatigue. Somehow you can balance. I think mental, social, emotional fatigue. I think those things we have to hit hard.
Absolutely, Surya Narayan. What you said is that we are doctor, we are human being. We are not superhuman.
Okay.
We work 24 hours and go like Hanumanji or any other person that we can continue to work. So there has to be, even doctor has to behave like a human and give enough time for himself, physical, for mental, social, for everything. So I think that's a very, very important part. So Meshram, we come back to you about this diet. One, you have very clearly explained that intermittent fasting, what time to eat and how to eat, that's important. But what to eat also is very important. And that's where the question comes. Some people are vegetarian, they have some issues. Other people who are non-vegetarian, they think that, that they are more healthy. So how do we balance that diet and nutrition?
I think when we talk of brain health, and we have to consider that, in 2016, there was a study of global burden of disease. And it has seen that about 34% of the patients have diseases because of poor diet. 5 to 6% about alcohol, 5 to 6% diseases because of other things. So diet is very important from that point of view. Now, poor diet includes two things. One is undernutrition and another is overnutrition. Now, we are in a country that in the world, there are people who don't get, enough to eat 2 times. We are in a poverty. Over the period of years, I must mention that poor people are getting more poor and rich people are becoming more rich. And this gap between the poor and rich, haves and have-nots, is very important. And the people are not getting enough to eat. Second important aspect when you talk of brain health is the environment. That is also very important. We are in an environment where for brain health, 93% residents are 93% of the people in the world, they breathe polluted air. So we are not getting fresh air to breathe. And air pollution, water pollution, the water contaminated with heavy metals, arsenic, leading to various health problems, brain health problems. So that environment is very important. Another aspect of that environment is that your educational aspect. We are, if you would recall, there is a Hickman curve, and he says that the best investment is the investment in the children education. Now, if you invest in the children education, you will get more return. We are now talking about opening of IIT. We are talking about opening of All India Institute, big institutes.
So, Dr. Mesham, we won't go into that because that political aspect. But what we important?
No, I'm not talking
about.
I'm talking about brain health. So, education is also important aspect of that environment and education. That is important for brain health because brain development. Unless you go into the education, then there will not be brain development. But I come back to your point of what to eat. And when we say that what to eat is because basically you have to don't eat anything which is flashed on the TVs or media. No, there are so many advertisements on TV that
you eat. Chandrasekhar, what is happening in country like India is that in Maharashtra people eat vada pav in the morning with breakfast, sometime in the lunch. In North India, the people get up straight away, go to the samosa shop, have the 2 samosa or kachori. So I think this is what has been the lifestyle which has been going on in this country. And what I want you to highlight on this is that what is important to eat and what is not important to eat from the brain health point of view.
Yeah.
So this is a lifestyle which has been made in this country.
Yes. So one thing is the oil. The important thing which are the oil. So many patients ask that which oil we should use for cooking. Now it is important that all these vegetable oils, whether it's a soybean oil, sunflower oil, rice bran oil, are not good for your general health or brain health. So which oil is good? Is desi ghee is good. Then your olive oil, extra virgin oil is good. Coconut oil, I think Dr. Sharma would be eating the coconut oil, I believe. The coconut oil is extremely good. Butter is good. Flaxseed oil is good. Or unrefined groundnut also oil is good. So that is one aspect. Second aspect is that you want to cut down on carbohydrates and fast food. The sugar content. So basically, the main killer is a sugar which doesn't have any nutritional value, and that is used all over the world in every household. So first you have to cut down the sugar. Once you cut down the sugar content of your food, so many problems can be taken care of. So I advise my patient to take tea without sugar, without milk, because every time you eat, that why this concept is important, insulin is released. And insulin is a hormone which is a fattening hormone, it's an inflammatory hormone. So you want to cut down on carbohydrates because extra carbohydrates and sugar, the fast food, the trans fat, like you talked about samosa, it's all trans fat. Whatever the packaged food that you get from the market is a trans fat, and that is not good for brain health or general health. So you cut down on that. You cut down on all these, fast food. You can have a vegetarian food or non-vegetarian food, but improve your protein content. You use more of dry fruit, milk, curd. These are all good, healthy foods.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mesham. I think for the viewer and those who are attending, it's very important that they must understand about the diet. They should know that they need to cut down on fat, sugar, and carbohydrate. They can take good protein, I think. And they should also individualize themselves, because many of them may be suffering from some disorders. Some may have hypertension, they have to cut down on salt. Some may have other disorder. So I think they need to see a dietitian and see about their nutrition, because it has got a very direct impact on the brain health. We are getting a couple of questions also. We also have now another 10 minutes. But what is most important part of our thing? And you know, in our life, we spend so much of time in one thing, and that is sleep. Everybody sleeps for 7 to 8 days. And those who don't sleep, they grumble. Those who sleep, and therefore, Surya Narayan, I'm going to ask you is, what is the role of sleep in brain health, and how important it is sleep, that it has come up as a very, very important factor for the brain health?
That's a very good thing. In fact, it was a neglected entity earlier. Now, it is said that around 1/3 of our lifetime we are going to spend in sleep. Suppose you live 75 years. It is said around 20 to 25 years we are going to be sleeping. Only thing is we don't sleep continuously. Otherwise, we would have been qualified as Kumbhakarnas. So, three important things. One is the sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene is one thing which all of us badly, miss. Time to bed and time to rise. These two has to be constant at least 6 days a week. So that is not happening. See, what we focus is you sleep for 7 hours or 8 hours a day, but we don't tell them that you sleep the same time, because our biological clock is equally important. Now, because of the work shift disorder, everybody is working in bizarre time shift. Evening, afternoon 2 o'clock to midnight 3 o'clock, or evening 4 o'clock to early morning 5 o'clock. And that shift is there for many years for many people. And as doctors, even I say, when you are on call, you are 36 hours straight on duty, which means you may hardly sleep for 3 to 4 hours. So what we should focus on, one is the sleep hygiene, that is the time to bed, time to rise. Second thing is the quality of the sleep. Many times people think that they snore a lot. The partner will come and say, my husband is snoring a lot, he is having very good sleep. That's a myth actually. If somebody is snoring too much in the night, early morning, if he's sitting like, he is just going to falling asleep on a chair while he's reading newspaper or watching TV, that's an indication that he's having a sleep apnea. His brain is, lacking oxygen. So please meet the doctor. They have to do the, sleep study and other things. Okay. Third thing, always we should see if they have, how is the quality of the sleep. If they are getting too frequently disturbed because of either physical reasons or because of any other reasons, I think we need to have a sleep questionnaire for such patients. So in a nutshell, I would like to highlight that sleep hygiene, quality of sleep, disturbed sleep, sleep apnea, that is the, the snoring which people do, and any breathing difficulty in the middle of the night. That's most dangerous one. If somebody gets up at midnight, 1 o'clock, and with a breathing difficulty, if it is there for 3-4 days continuously, it may be a feature of failing heart. So those things we need to do. And for brain, it's a very good soothing effect. Sleep, it will release a lot of chemicals in the brain during sleep, which will actually, improve our brain. Early morning, next day morning, you wake up very fresh and you will have a lot of energy. That's very important.
So very, very important points you have brought. And with the sleep study in last couple of years being a prominent, we are now able to understand the various sleep disorders which are linked with the brain, and the oxygen which is going low while you are sleeping. Because when you are sleeping, your brain should get 100% oxygen. If it doesn't, that means it is working at low voltage. So your 100 watt of brain current is working only on 40 if your oxygen is less than 90%. I think you must all check that. Sleep is very, very important for memory, cognition. So with that note, Dr. Mishram, I come back to you. And I ask you one question, how important it is for a person to have a good brain health, to have regular social activity. And you know that we talk about how social you are, and are those people who are socially active has a better brain health, less dementia than those who are alone, aloof. And in that way, how a joint family would have taken care of all these things which are be missing today with nuclear family.
Yeah, I think it is very important that, I tell about people about what are the good things for the brain health and what are bad things for the brain health. The good thing for the brain health is that you should have positive thinking. You should have optimum level of stress or as less stress as possible, whatever is required. Some amount of stress is required for achievement in life. But then you should cut down on the unnecessary stress. You should have a regular exercise. If you do even regular physical exercise, the chances of developing dementia or other diseases is less than 30% in people who do exercise. So that exercise keeps your brain healthy. Then you should involve in social activities. You should involve in your hobbies. Like I always tell the formula of 80 and 20, that 80% of the time you should give for your profession, 20% you should have time for yourself, your hobbies, your activities, social interactions. What your hobbies? Maybe some social work or some interaction with people, maybe some laughter club or any kind of club, whatever activity you want to do, painting, drawing, whatever you want, do reading, learning languages, learning new things. So that it was initially thought that, your brain development takes place up to a certain age of in the childhood or the adolescenthood. Now, the experiment has shown that the brain is very plastic. There is a lot of neuroplasticity, and it keeps on developing and getting new connections throughout your life. So whatever activity you want to do, you can do. Keep yourself busy, keep yourself involved in activities, and if you don't use your brain, you will rust your brain. So you use your brain. And what is bad about things for the brain is your bad habits: alcohol, smoking, tobacco, then sedentary life, the poor diet, the fast food, and these are the lack of sleep. The children, the young generation, they remain awake for long hours in the night, and then they get up late in the morning. They are hooked to the TV and mobile and laptop, not doing enough physical exercises. So this is very important for
So,
some brain
to cut short, Dr. Meshram, what our fathers, forefathers, and grandmothers has laid down the norms: early to sleep, early to bed, have the breakfast, have this, have the fixed timing for your playing, have fixed time for your study. I think those are going to come back to now again, because now we are studying them scientifically, and they are proving that those things were scientifically good for brain health, for intelligence, for activity. And I think we are coming back to that again and again. And so we are crossing out to the last few minutes, and there are a couple of questions. Like the one important person has said, what do you mean by brain health? Brain health from diseases, free from diseases, or not having other activity. So I think brain having no epileptic history or no fit psychologically. I think what you have to understand is, when we're talking of brain health, we are talking about, as Surya Narayan has said, physically you should be fit, because when your brain is healthy, then only you can feel physically fit. Mentally, you will only be happy when your brain health is fit. So it is not one aspect, it is the complete aspect. And therefore, you have to follow all the things religiously to have a proper brain health. The last few words, I think it is very important, Dr. Surya Narayan, you are doing some translation of religious book. And how does it help in maintaining your brain health? And what do
Yeah.
you really do that?
That's a very good question, sir. I just take the book here. So this is actually my great grandfather was a scholar. He was a Kannada and Sanskrit scholar. He had translated close to 30 books, Ramayana, Mahabharat, Padma Puran, and even Bhagavad Gita. Various aspects of that into Kannada. So around in 1 lakh Sanskrit verses he has translated to Kannada, which was over 15 years. That was way back in 1940 to 55. So we are, releasing, or I can say we are actually rejuvenating his glory, and we are trying to, put it back into the current scenario. Last year, I released this book. This is called Ananda Ramayan. I think Sir Nirmal Surya knows about it. Even I had sent him one book. So spiritual health is also important. What Gita teaches us not to have jealousy, not to have animosity, to live a peaceful or healthy life. So they are all different clear messages. You may, the roles may be different, but the interpretation or the message what it gives to a common man is very important. If you are a spiritual man, I'm sure even if you lose 2 or 3 patients to your competitor in the city, you don't care. That's very important. In every profession, if you have that peace of mind, many a time, if you look 10 years down the line, those things may be very, you may feel yourself as very stupid. But once we have a good spiritual health, that's another dimension of our health: physical health, mental health, social health, emotional health, and spiritual health. Once we have all that in mind place, I think you are the happiest person and you are the most successful person.
So I think what it turned out to be that these are the hobbies, as Dr. Mesham said. What is your hobby? You pursue your hobby. So I think one of the hobby you have mentioned out is translating, reading the sculpture, reading the religious book, writing about them. There could also be music therapy. People may be learning the music, doing the music, or there could be pets. So, you have cat, dog as your pet and you play with them. So all that matters for a improvement in the brain health or keeping the brain healthy. So with that note, I think we are coming to the end, and I will only ask in one line to Dr. Mesham and you to give a message to the public, to our listener, to our people on social media, to large public across the country and globally who join, that what is the message for brain health? What would you like to tell in one liner to the people that what they should do to take care of their brain? Don't leave on neurologists alone. Dr.
Brain
Mesham.
health, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Surya Narayan.
Yeah. See, brain health is a holistic concept. It involves your overall physical health. As we highlighted in, I think from beginning, it's a entire health in entirety represents brain health. Your physical health, your mental health, your social health, your emotional quotient, your hobbies, everything should be in place so that you will be free of any diseases.
Dr. Mesham.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we must understand that the brain is the most important organ of our body. We are here because of our brain. Everything is because of your brain, and you must take care of your brain. So it should be the optimal functioning of the brain. You should be free from diseases of any neurological diseases. So you have to consider that development of the brain should be better. You should be disease-free, optimal functioning, which will include the social, emotional, behavior, motor, sensory. And if somebody gets a disease, that how to come out of that and prevent and maintain your health, and how to get recovery with the help of the doctors or the society. And you want to at the same time that it is your life, but then you should see that you are helpful to the society to a large extent but that is the thing that you will enjoy the most, and then that you will relish the most. And as Dr. Sharma has said that you can be spiritual, you can do in any religion, you can have that spirituality, or without spirituality, you have your mental peace, maybe through meditation or exercise or whatever you like, the best thing, whatever you love about yourself and you want to contribute to the society. I think that is the most important message, that you take care of your brain and you take care of others' brain. And you be yourself, be happy, and try to make others happy. That is the most important message I want to give.
Thank you, my dear friends, for enlightening on the brain health. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the show I have for you today. Dimaag Pe Charcha, from Dimaag Walon Se Charcha, on the brain health. We discuss on various aspects. I hope they will be useful, and those who had some of this problem has got the tips to make their brain more healthy. Of course, neurologists are there to take care of your diseased brain, but do not allow that situation. And also, we'll come every month with one topic. Our Dimaag Se Charcha will continue. I, your host, Nirmal Surya, today say goodbye from the studio and come back to you next month. Keep on looking for the IN website. Keep on joining on the various social media platform of IN to know more and more about various neurological diseases and be connected with the experts in the neurology, not only from India, but also from all across the world, to be part of these shows to help you out. So with those notes, if you have any feedback or any question, please write on info@inindia.org and we will revert to you with the note. Thank you very much. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. See you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Bhavesh, we can leave now and you can stop the recording, please.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Meshram.